Hey everyone, this is Andy with the Coffee with a Geek program. It is, it's February 2018, and it's actually warm and sunny today here in Western New York. How about with you, Sue?
It is actually warm and sunny here too for a change. It's really nice.
I know, it's amazing, which means we're going to have a snowstorm any day now.
I think there's snow in the forecast for Friday over here.
Okay. Well, my guest today is Sue Kwiecien, and Sue is, let me see if we can run down your accomplishments here. You're educator and social entrepreneur, it's a great title. So you've had a variety of teaching experience with both students, pre-K and adult, so wide range. You are passionate about education and in particular equality and equity in education to ensure all learners have opportunities for success, which is, I think, a great thing with technology that allows us hopefully to do that. And one thing we're definitely going to be talking about today is Cube for Teachers. So this is it's an education sharing network, and you can search, connect with all kinds of other people, but really it's a great place to share resources, and we'll kind of walk through it. And also just what I like about it, it's really lean and clean. And I think, sometimes, Twitter and a lot of social networks and sharing sites just get so messy. So we'll take a good look at that. So I think that kind of covers a lot of what you are. So Sue, maybe fill in the blanks about your education and your background, and maybe also tell us about your favorite cup of coffee. I don't have any coffee today. I've just got my Dunder on
I'm drinking water because I've had lots of coffee already, but my favorite coffee is probably Tim Hortons, and then Starbucks, just regular old brew.
Yes, well, it has to be Tim Hortons for Canadians, right?
Well, that's right, exactly. I come by it honestly. All right, so what were you asking me?
Tell me a little bit about your educational background.
Okay, sure, absolutely. So I have a BA in early childhood education from Ryerson, from Toronto, and my Bachelor of Education is from York. And then I also have a diploma in sign language, so that's a little bit diverse. And for well over a decade, I've been working in special education. And that's kind of where my passion lies, because I find the students really fuel me and drive me because they live with such passion and strive for such great things. So when I am able to participate and work with them and sort of really empower them, that's really what grounds me. So even though I'm full-time on Cube, I try to get back into the classroom as often as I can, because it really, like I said, it grounds me and makes me realize why I'm doing the things that I do, bringing equity and resources to educators worldwide.
So before we dig into Cube, we've met several times at conferences, from NYSCATE to Canada Connect. Is that kind of I know it's certainly an inspiration for me, but is that kind of your hub to pull new ideas and kind of connect with educators?
Yeah, you know what? I think we connect with educators. I connect with educators everywhere. So Cube being one place, but in person, yes. In schools, I'm in schools quite frequently, and at these conferences, it makes a big difference. And I think I like about the conferences is you're meeting the innovators and the educators that are really tech engaged. But the only challenge is that at the conferences, that's primarily who you meet. And so by getting into schools and getting into classrooms, Cube's real goal, and my goal, is to get behind that classroom door, because I find so many educators don't leave their classroom. And in our world, we're very connected, and we're on Twitter, and we're on social media, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Cube. We're very engaged, and we know what's out there. But I think a good majority of educators don't get the influences that we have, and they don't get the opportunities. So that's one of my primary goals, is to bring Cube behind that classroom door and inspire those classroom educators that maybe aren't as socially connected as the rest of us.
So with that said, let's dig into Cube, and maybe before I actually bring it up on the screen, maybe you can talk about maybe the genesis of Cube, where it came from and where you want to go with it.
All right, well, it came from the ability to level the playing field. Like, the goal is to bring it to educators worldwide, because we all don't have access to the same equal access to the same resources. So if things are freely available, that changes the opportunities. So Cube is a global network for all educators. to come together and share, support, and inspire each other. And currently it's a place where teachers can share resources to their favorite links. And we have now well over 50,000 shared links. And it's amazing because it continues to grow as now teachers are uniting globally and sharing links to resources that they found effective and valuable. So it really is leveling the playing field and fostering equity among educators, because all they need is to get online. So if they can get online, they can get access to an unparalleled network of educators who are sharing thousands of resources. And the resources they share are primarily open educational, whether they're self-created or found on the web. And the things that you'll find on the Cube are all things educational. So we have, people have shared lessons to every subject, all grades, teaching strategies, Indigenous resources, special education resources, infographics, video, interactive games, the list goes on, assessments, blogs, you name it, it's on there. So the idea is the power, if every teacher shared just one resource that resonated with them or a student, just think of the power that we'd have. And it's really become a movement. And now we're reaching out to educational communities globally. And whether it's educators, but it's also school leaders, system leaders, faculty of ed students, teacher candidates, or you say College of Education, they're all coming, and they're all coming because there's such a plethora of great resources to share.
So why don't, I'm going to bring up Cube with my account displayed, and maybe you can kind of talk a little bit about it and maybe showcase what you can do with Cube. So give me just a second and I will share my screen, hopefully for everybody. Okay, can you see that?
We can see that. We can see Coffee with a Geek.
Yeah, so I'm going to bounce over here. So this is,
so
jump out to my home
this
page.
Is a, here we
There's
go.
my home page.
That's your dashboard. So this is where you'll find educators that you've followed. And when you first join Cube, you're able to, you pass by a page that comes with recommended educators to follow. So these are people that are sharing, they're active. We're constantly adding to this page because we want to ensure that we have a diverse variety of educators from different levels and different specializations, because one of the things that really fuels Cube is educators' passion. And we're all passionate about something. For me, it's special education and collaboration. For someone else, it may be makerspace, and someone else, it may be, so by bringing us all together under one roof, we can all benefit from each other's passions. So this is your dashboard, and you've chosen to follow these educators. And as you scroll through, every time they share a link, it is shared on your dashboard. Oh, there I am.
Yay.
Yay. So you can search resources as well by keyword, and you can search users, and you can follow users. So as I said, and you can follow any user. So by following users, you stay in the know. So you can build connections with fellow educators globally and collaborate that way.
So one of the ways I can find new users is just go up here. And again, one of the things I had mentioned is it's really lean and clean as far as the interface, which I love. I mean, just 3 options up here. So if I click on user search, so these are a variety of users that I can follow. And just by clicking the little I next to them, I can get some more information. I'll just do this iHub here. So that gives me a little information. And it also quickly gives me their Cube page, their Twitter connection, and their personal website. Again, lean and clean, 3 options, but really good information right off the bat. Nice and user-friendly.
Absolutely, and that's the idea. It's it's getting your hands on those resources when you need them and making those connections. Because as you said previously, Twitter's fantastic, but again, a lot of times in those Twitter conversations, it's you learn what people are having for breakfast, for example. And sometimes that's important to know. But when you're looking for that resource and you're in the class and that one student hasn't grasped a concept and you really want to build that bridge for them, you need that resource immediately. So Cube gives you that opportunity to quickly find what you need and get back to your students.
Well, I'm looking at this page. So I went back to my main page, and here's your husband is one of my top follows here. And so this is a link that he shared.
Right.
So I can just click on it and go directly to the link. That's
correct.
Okay, so that bounces out there. So really quick and easy, and it does open up a new tab so it doesn't close where I was. It's easy for me to get back. it has certainly who shared it, so you can connect with them, but it also has tags down here, I believe. So you can start tagging and categorizing along those lines. Tell me about this link details button.
Just gives you a little bit more information, and in time. Now, this is the very lean version. We just re-released Cube the beginning of January, so we completely redesigned it, and so this is the leanest it's going to be. We have a ton of new features that are slowly being released. So the link details will eventually allow you to click on the keywords and search by those keywords as well, and just to provide a little more information. If you've shared a link and you're clicking on link details, it allows you to edit your link that way as well. Add to favorites is another one. And then the add button on the end is add to folders, where you can have folders and really build that bundle of resources so they're easily accessible. And I don't know if you want to...
this. I like this add to folder. It's a quick and easy way to get some organization going.
It is, and to really foster that global collaboration, I don't know if you want to go to somebody's profile perhaps.
Sure.
Yeah, you can go right there. So you can see that Andy here has a compilation of various folders, or cubes as we call them, and he's got bundles of resources. And what we've done with Cube most recently is we have allowed educators the opportunity to share their profiles publicly. And in that, they can also create public folders so they can share their folders. So the idea being that if you were presenting at a conference or bringing resources back to your school, or the consultant or coordinator in your school, you simply add the resources, whether you've found them or created them, into the Cube, put them in a folder, and you can share them during or after your presentation so that your audience can focus on your presentation. And at the end, they'll have that link to your profile or your folder where they don't have to log in and create an account if they don't want to. But if they want to find more of the fabulous resources that are being shared, they definitely would want to build an account. But otherwise, they can just get to those resources and keep going. Because what we find more often than not, and you know as well, having been to many conferences, is that when you're out and you're at a presentation, there'll be a bit.ly that is given attached to the presentation and the resources. And then once you leave that room, what happens to that resource? Where does it go? How do you ever remember to go back? And if you do, how do you share that with other people? So in the Cube, once it's been shared once, it's forever searchable and accessible for fellow educators, whether they're present at the presentation or they're back in your home school.
And just one of the last tabs right up here, just
right,
to show educators how quick and easy it is to add a link. It's really just, copy and paste. And when you actually paste the link here, it does, in most cases, fill right in for you, at least your title, right?
Right. You can select populate, and it'll tag only as well as the resource you're sharing is tagged. Edutopias seem to work really, really well. And it depends on how they are tagged, right? CNN works well as an example as well. And I think what's coming in the next week or two is a Chrome extension to allow that quick population, much like Pinterest, so you can cube resources quickly from other sites and allow that just to allow you to really build up your repertoire of resources quickly.
So just to show, if I were to do Edutopia,
that's
so
the generic
Edutopia in the title for me.
Right. If you'd clicked on the blog, though, it would have given you the description as well and some keywords.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But you also have the freedom to delete those keywords or add keywords at your own will or create your own description. It's completely up to you. It's all about teacher voice and teacher choice.
Well, I just like how quick and easy that, again, how clean it is.
There we go.
So that fits in the description. So I can add my own tags, and then I've already got my folders organized here. So again, really clean and easy. Nice to, yeah, go ahead.
It's a great way to disseminate information, to share that information with your fellow educators.
All right.
Or even we have educators that make folders for students or parents of students that are looking for resources, because it can be shared outside of Cube and you don't have to make an account. It allows that accessibility of sharing to happen.
So you've mentioned, there's going to be new features that are being released all the time. So you're really, this is kind of a work in progress right now. It
is, but I think it's already 50,000 links strong. So it is full speed ahead for us. It really is going. And like I said, many of the features in Cube 1.0, before we relaunched, it had a wealth of features that are all built, but being the teacher side of Cube for Teachers, the developers insist on gradually releasing each one to ensure that everything is seamless. So I can't argue with that. So it's all coming, and there's lots of great things coming down the turnpike.
Yeah, well, like I said, you've done a great job with that. And again, I like it because it's lean and clean. It gives me that information quickly, easily, not a lot of distractors, lets me organize the way I want to. And the people I'm connecting with really are just educators. So again, as much as I love Twitter, Twitter has just so much that can distract you. So this is really, really focused. So I like it.
Thank you. That's great. Happy to hear it.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we are going to dig into the Wheel of Geekdom questions, unless there was something else you wanted to add to what we chatted about.
I'm good.
All right. Well, this is hopefully going to dig some more things. And if you want to find the Wheel of Geekdom, it is on the Coffee with a Geek website, and it is under the tab of Geeky Fun. So are you ready? We're going to spin the dial here. I don't know that you can see it. I think I just have it for me. So I'll spin it and ask the question. I think it makes make it easier. So I know you're sweating bullets over these. These are pretty tough.
Can't wait. Yes.
All right. So your first question, is always a good one. So are you a gamer, and what is your game?
Does Pacman count? Not necessarily a gamer. I in my tweens I played Pacman and Donkey Kong back in the ColecoVision, so I think I'm dating myself. You'd have to find my husband, and he's the one who's gaming with the kids, playing Minecraft. I am I'm kind of the guard keeper, so I investigate the apps and the games and make sure they're safe for the kids, for my kids. They're 8 and 10, so they're at a very sensitive age and, becoming digitally aware. And one of my favorite sites actually to check out apps and kids' movies is that Common Sense Media. I find that is really, really valuable for parents because it gives great ratings and it's easy to follow and easy to find. So I'm sorry I'm not a gamer.
Yeah, no, that I'm glad you brought up the Common Sense Media, though. That really is kind of my number one tried, true, and tested website to just get information quickly and easily about movies, games, that whole thing. So absolutely, yeah, especially teachers in the classroom. I often see people asking for what's a good movie that deals with, and you just send them there, and there's great descriptions. Yeah, agreed. All right, here goes the next question.
One question survived.
All right, so what is the latest tech trend to watch for? What do you
well, that's
have your pulse on?
I think it's got to be AI. I think AI is everywhere, and you see the big companies are starting to get involved and get engaged, and everybody says an up and coming thing is AI. Everybody's going to watch for AI. But I think as educators, we really have to watch what the impact of AI will be in our classrooms. When we think about student privacy and the integrity of learning and inquiry and all that. And it'll be a fine balance. And I'm sure there'll be some great things coming into education through AI, but it's also a bit of a cautionary as we move forward into this uncharted grounds. And then, of course, there's always virtual reality. I think it's really, really breaking down barriers for access to resources. Like not any of us can go to space, but we can do some VR and travel around the world, and the learning opportunities are exponential with that. And there's a lot of free apps and so forth that provide VR experiences. So again, it's accessible for the average teacher.
Well, and that I think that was a good way to put it. And we just had the Olympics, of course, and NBC had a VR app for the Olympics, so you could get some VR experience. Again, you need the phone or the device to make it go. But I think you're going to start seeing that more and more. And listen, I'll never do the half pipe. I'll hurt myself. But maybe through VR, I can get that experience. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fascinating. So those are my two texts to watch for, I think.
All right. Good ones. Yeah, I haven't really thought of the implications yet of AI, just because
I think you can get snowballing in your mind, so it's almost better just to kind of wait
well,
and see.
you had mentioned Pacman, and that brought me to I'm an unofficial movie critic or a TV show critic, and I watch Netflix far more than I probably should. But have you watched Stranger Things at all?
Yes, done. Both
wasn't that amazing with the 80s and all that good stuff?
It strikes a chord for those of us, right? Us 80s kids.
Yes. I was able to talk to my kids about the 80s a little bit through that movie. And also, have you seen Black Mirror?
No, but I'll put it on my list.
Oh gosh, well, be prepared. It's mind blowing, and what made me think of it is your thing about with AI and the implications and that sort of thing, and basically Black Mirror takes a technology.
Oh, Black Mirror. Really kind of, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you said Black Bear. I'm like,
yeah.
Yes, I've watched that too, and you're absolutely right. It's almost like a Twilight Zone of the millennium. I find
it is, isn't it? But yes. It really can push your buttons like further than you want them pushed. But
yeah, absolutely, you're right.
Oh, good. I'm glad I finally found someone who's watched that show. I keep telling my techie friends, you've got to watch the show. It'll just blow your mind.
It really does make you think, though, because it's not that far off some of their episodes, right?
Yeah, some of the stuff are scarily realistic, and some of them are making a point of a technology and then kind of exaggerating the end game, which makes you kind of think, oh yeah, you know what, Facebook and liking a post and how kids perceive, so yeah, neat stuff. All right, well, if I need therapy, I'll call you for for help, because no one else will watch it. My wife will watch it. None of my other friends will dare watch.
I think I watched all of them, almost all of them. Yeah.
All right, so the next one here is, okay, if you were to design your own school, what would it look like?
Wow, design my own school. That's tough. So my background being early childhood education, it's, I studied under that play-based learning, and, I know here in Ontario, all the kindergartens have moved to play-based, and there's a lot of talk about how it works and the benefits. But I think that there's something to say for the value of, hands-on inquiry. So I think that if I were to design my own school, it would be probably an equal distribution of inquiry, hands-on, but also that, technology infused, but allowing that opportunity for exploration. And, maybe the tech could be the documenting part as they're, building and creating as they go for hikes and, or building and creating in the classroom. I think that inquiry is kind of where it's at in my mind. And just providing the scaffolding for the learning that way. Now, it's easy to say how it would actually look. All of the tidbits in building it would be quite intricate, I imagine. But, if we're dreaming here, that would be the school I would design.
Well, I think you are starting to see pockets of that sort of thing. A lot of more active spaces where people can move around, and especially kids can move around. And it's not just a one-size-fits-all, desks and board at front. So I think we are starting to see that. Again, I think the biggest challenge is just the cost of having to, get furniture and stuff for classes.
As well, too, like you think about the entrepreneurial mindset. I think that that's key. And, and part of the global competencies and just the inquiry and the critical thinking and fostering that growth mindset. So that can be done all for free, right? Like it's just building that into your learning, because I think that so many children could benefit from having that growth mindset, and we're, us being 80s kids, we grew up in the right or wrong, don't raise your hand. We were just the opposite. And I think that it's a brand new world, because if we look at the job opportunities that are coming to our kids, even kids now that start university, the jobs that are available once they graduate will be completely different, things we've never thought of. So they have to have that entrepreneurial mindset and that ability to problem solve and not be afraid of failing and think critically and take on new challenges and all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go with one more here. Let's see if we can. I know this half hour went by fast.
It flew by. Wow, 4 minutes to go. I'm really under the gun now.
All right, so if we're going to call Cube for Teachers a social network, which I'm not sure if it quite falls under there, but what's your favorite social network?
Okay, so it's two-part, and you partly answered it. So personally, I'm on Facebook and Instagram for my personal because I have friends and family across the globe, and that's where they choose to reside. So it allows for that that connection and personal connection of sharing pictures and being part of their lives, even though they're on the other side of the pond, if you will. Professionally, it has to be, for me, it is Cube for Teachers. Now it's leaning in the direction of social networks, and for me, it is because it's about the resources. And I think if you ask any teacher what they're primarily looking for, it's that resource, because they want to help their students and they need the resources now more than ever to provide the scaffolding to foster the inquiry and the learning. And as we said before, going on Twitter to find resources, yes, there's some there, but when you see one, I think a tweet lives for like 17 minutes or something like that. And then when you go back and search, it's hard to cipher through all of it and find what you need and get your hands on it. So for me, in education and being an educational professional, my professional social network has to be Cube for Teachers.
Great. Well, we'll end it there. It's a good place to stop.
That's
so
great.
Sue, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, and hopefully I'll see you at the Canada Connect, or if not, are you going to the ISTE conference this year?
I was just talking about that with the team. We shall see. I might be there.
All right. Good.
All right.
Well, we'll see you hopefully in Canada or in Chicago, or come on down to NYSCATE too. NYSCATE's a great one.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Thanks so much, Andy.
All right. Thanks.
Bye now.